Hi, I'm FabuDad.
And I'm FabuMom.
And I'm Fabu, and together with Miss Kill, we are
FabuRocks, the #1 family stream, and welcome to the FabuRocks Podcast.
Let's go.
This is episode 1, how we started. First, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Turtle Beach, Rockcat, and G Fuel. Thank you.
Gracias.
As a little recap, our previous episode, it was episode 0, about us. There, we talked about us, how we started, and how FabuRocks was created in a nutshell. A little bit of my background and a little bit of the FabuMom background, just for all of you have a little glimpse what is this podcast is going to be all about. Now, to continue, this is episode 1, how we started. The way that we created this podcast is much thanks to the feedback of the Fabu fam and the Fabu army. The idea is for us to take it to a journey of everything, how we have created FabuRocks into today. The troubles, the struggles, the happy moment that it has reshaped us as a family. Fabu is going to be the one who asking us questions, and FabuMom and I will be the one answering them. I hope you enjoy it. Once again, this is episode 1, how we started. And Fabu, we're going to start with the question. Go right ahead, Fabu.
Numero uno. When did you notice that I had speech delay?
Wow, that's not a simple question at all.
Not at all.
No,
It's complex.
It is. It is actually. It's not like you just wake up one day and you're like, she's got a speech delay today.
Yeah.
I think
It didn't click.
No, it did. It really didn't. It's actually a baby, a child's development is measured by milestones, and milestones such as walking and talking. So the milestone of you walking, you hit that at a very early age. So
What can I say? I was born at Flash, you know?
yeah, you were running. By the time you were like 8 months old, you were already running around the house. And so, but you weren't really talking much. You were like barely saying 1 or 2 words, and whatever it is that you said, I understood you, but only I understood you.
Yeah, Fabu I would even, trying to establish any conversation with Fabu, and
He wouldn't
besides
get
the
it.
smiling and the
No.
hug, she
I'll
would
be
like
hi.
answer like,
Yeah,
and
Fabu
I
Dad
was
like translator.
I always look at FabuMom and say, please translate. I really don't understand, but I always, wanted to try to see what was the tricks. 'Cause I always said FabuMom, she has some tricks. Like, what is the trick for you to understand what she was saying?
But I'll be like, how did you get that from what she just said? I'm like, I understood her perfectly.
Into today, let me tell you, I still don't know the trick. There's a bunch of the time this Fabu still say things that you still like, what?
He's like,
And then out of the sudden FabuMom is like, she said, I'm like, wow.
How'd you
okay.
get that?
Okay. Like, maybe it's a mother-daughter intuition. I don't know. Telepathy, or I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
No, but even like at that age, we were always going to the pediatrician, because when you're like little, you're going to the pediatrician frequently, and she wasn't concerned. Basically, she had told us that when kids hit one milestone at a very early age, they may be delayed on other milestones, such as language in this case. So she wasn't very concerned initially, at that 1-2 year mark. She wasn't very concerned. We actually thought that one of the reasons why you were delayed with the speech was because you were spending practically all day with your grandparents, with Tutu and Tata, while we were working and at school. Fabu would spend the day with her grandparents. And
yeah, and the whole confusion, being her grandparents, I would talk to her in Spanish, and as we are bilingual, and we would speak to her only in English. We assume at the moment that it was like, well, there's a language thing here, a language barrier. Like, I don't know, maybe she's getting confused. She doesn't know or the English or the Spanish. And then we start making decisions. Okay, from now on, we're going to try our best just to communicate with her at one language. Maybe that would help, because when you don't have certain answers and you only have questions, you start looking for answers somewhere else, right? And one of the things that we did, it was that, well, maybe, it's the language. So let's start only talking to her and English so she doesn't get confused. But obviously, her grandparents, it was not doing it 100%.
No.
Neither we were following through 100%. So, Okay, great. So, next question, Fabu.
Okay. Number 2. So how did I communicate when I was young?
How did you communicate when you were young? Well, we had already mentioned that basically you from the moment that you started vocalizing, you had your own language that only I understood. So
It was alien language.
it was
No, it was pretty simple. Like your vocabulary. This is just my take. In your vocabulary, it was just pointing fingers, smiling, and hugging. Anybody that knew your family members, anybody that was around you at the moment, they knew that you wanted something or you wanted to say something as soon that you got in front of them, smile, hug them, and they knew right after it was like, that means I want that.
Yeah, but she would never get frustrated, even if like people didn't understand her, because I realized that people did not understand her and she didn't get frustrated.
She is change-tastic. Like okay, you didn't understand. I gotta go somewhere else. So she would go to somebody else and she would try the same trick. Not the same trick, but it was just her way to communicate. She would look at you like, hey, you know who am I? Yeah? Okay, so look at me. I'm cute, right? Yeah? Okay, let me give you a hug.
Give me some ice cream.
Love. Eh? You got love? Okay, we set? Okay, I want that.
I don't think...
And I think that was her pattern. That was her communication. And I believe, and into today, she still somehow uses it, okay?
What?
With her grandparents.
What?
With her grandparents.
You know what? Yeah, I could actually agree with that with my grandparents because
She
they're kind
uses it still with her grandparents. And I tell FabuMom, she's that's a trick. I don't know what else. I know that was her communication, but that was it.
It was, and you made yourself always understood.
Yeah, it was like, hey, love, now give me that. And it worked.
Wow.
It worked. And especially with her grandparents. Like I was saying before, I was telling FabuMom that I believe that she got that while staying with her grandparents. And that was the best way for her to communicate.
I was lovely.
No, because they
Well,
just never said no to you for anything.
Well, that's a true
because those are grandparents. They just don't say no.
And this is true of the fact is I always told people that Fabu has been the most lovely, happier kid that I ever have seen in my life. And that's true.
That's true.
She was always smiling, hugging. That's besides the whole speech and, she was not able to say things. That's beyond that. She was always she never got upset. She was always smiling, hugging. She was very happy. It was awesome.
I also want to add that I was, in my opinion, I think I was pretty brave because every time I asked FabuMom, did I cry when I took like a flu shot or shots in the doctor? FabuMom said like, I never cried. I never cried. So
until
I
today,
cried very little. Like
I didn't cry, FabuDad.
No.
Wow, FabuDad.
No, I never said that you cried. I never said that.
I can agree that when I took my shot, I asked for a lollipop because
But I didn't say anything.
But I didn't cry in any of my shots.
Yeah, from when she was little, like her very first shots, I would talk to her like as if she even understood.
A pep talk.
I would, as we were driving to the pediatrician, I'm like, Fabu, you got this. You're gonna be, you're gonna be strong. You're gonna be brave. They're gonna give a little pinchy pinch, and those first shots, she cried a little bit, but then afterwards, it was like, no big deal.
Yeah, until today, actually, she goes to the doctor if anything. And she hold it up,
I know this is really dumb, but every time I go to a doctor's appointment, the thing that I look forward to is getting a lollipop. It's just like
every surprise anyone.
Fabu, we're even going to the bank.
It surprises nobody.
It doesn't surprise anybody. It's not just the doctor. Come on. Even with going to the bank, you're trying to fight with anybody. You're trying to get a lollipop.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So
I don't care if there's COVID.
It's a candy thing. It's a candy thing. All right, we get it. All right, Fabu, so give us your next question.
Number 3, when did I start going to a daycare?
You started going to daycare when you were around 3 years old. You started.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started at around 3 years old. Prior to that, like we mentioned before, we were working and in school, so you spent most of the day at your grandparents' house. Most Hispanic families have this belief that kids should not go to daycare when they're very, very young because they're
Yes.
exposed to it's they're exposed to colds and bacteria.
And they should be with the
and they should be with
family.
the
And
And
they should be
lice.
together with the family. And family.
Yeah, and the grandparents, so they convinced us to let them take care of her while we were in work in school. So
Yeah, at the moment for mom was still doing her master, she was more busy than ever. I was synced at work and everything. So it was a humongous help for us.
yeah,
We were still in the belief that Fabu mom said that the kids should be with the family and the family. So we were all we were all like for it, you know.
and
But it
one
was
of
not working very good.
yeah, and I truly believed that once you started daycare, that your language was just gonna like flourish. Like at that moment, it was just gonna like the gates would open and you were just gonna start like
Yeah,
speaking, and that you would have caught up to wherever it is that you were needed to be at that moment.
yeah, it's something that you always say. It's like, no, that's no big deal. She's gonna get there. You know, it's no big deal. It's like the same thing. Like when you go to a bilingual family, they're like, hey, she's not speaking, this language, whatever your second language is. For our Spanish, oh, but she's not saying anything in Spanish. You always say, she will get it. Like until today, Fabu does not, because the whole speech delay and everything. We decided to just speak in English. Like Fabu, it does not speak much Spanish, and they were always like, hey, when you go to start, when you go to think, she will get there. Don't worry, we're working on it.
I'm not even fluent on English. Like,
Well,
come on.
Well, basically, what one of the therapists early on had explained to us, that in order for a child to be fully bilingual, that you need to actually speak to them in that one language only. So we in the house speak more Spanglish than anything. Sometimes half English, half Spanish, and so what we were told by the therapist was that we were actually doing no good. We
Yeah.
were doing no good to her. She's like she's confused because it's half Spanish and half English, and you need to either speak to her in one or the other. So the grandparents still kept talking to her in Spanish, which so now at this point she understands Spanish a lot. She understands nearly all of it.
I just can't speak it.
She just doesn't speak it.
I just can't speak it.
Okay, Fabu, so what's the next question?
Number 4. How old was I when I was diagnosed with speech delay?
Okay, you were around 4 years old when you were formally diagnosed. By that point, you had already been in school for like a year. And at that point, the pediatrician was like, you know what? She hasn't improved much this whole year since she's been in school. So I think that we should have her, evaluated. So we went to a speech therapist, and she did a speech evaluation, and it was found. She determined that you had a severe speech delay at that point. So the recommendation was to start with therapy twice a week, which was considered at that point aggressive therapy, which we agreed to. So she started you with twice a week sessions. She would come to the school, to the daycare, and you were getting pulled out of class for her to do her session with you twice a week.
Okay, Fabu, what's the next question?
Number 5. When did my speech therapy start?
Your speech therapy started soon after you were diagnosed.
Yeah, she was daycare.
She was going to daycare. You were going to daycare, and the recommendation was for us to start off with what they considered aggressive therapy, which was twice a week. So the therapist.
So I
was
had it
going-
bad.
Yeah, you were the diagnosis was severe
Yeah.
speech delay. Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
out of a sudden we went from not worried to panic.
exactly. We were
We didn't went to like a little bit worried. We went from not worried to panic.
yeah.
Yes, that's how it went.
Yeah.
You were already in daycare and everything, so we were like, well, this is very convenient. The therapist would go to the because I thought I was asking the question that we needed to take Fabu to take therapy and everything. FabuMom educate me. No, the therapist will go to the daycare. They doing the class there. I'm like, how are they gonna do that? She's in daycare. Well, they put her out of the class. They would do the therapy right there. I'm like, would that not bring another issue? And then I started going a little bit more, going to the panic way. I'm like, maybe she would not take it well because she's being put out of the class. How she would take that? A bunch of the question mark from mom is like, no, don't worry, that's the way it is. That's the way it works. That we'll go there, trying to do that therapy. Well, it's convenience too. So I look at the positive. Oh, it's convenient. She's there in the daycare. Why not? Get it to class. So it would not, interfere with anything. I think it's good. Let's see what happened. Let's see how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might like create more issues and solving issues.
Exactly. That was,
Like
that
my
was
social,
concern.
or if I was weird and insecurity.
But you're still weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for that. But like communication, social,
Yeah. You would feel bad.
not how do you call it? Like proud of myself, like what's it called?
Not feel confident.
Insecure about
Yeah,
myself. Yeah,
That was our turn.
because I was weird or unnormal to the normal kids. So,
Yeah. The thing is that
which I did actually feel when I was young. I actually felt like, because when we started everything, I was like, I don't want to talk about it because it felt like I was weird or I wasn't normal to the other kids.
That was our
when you were a
long-term
little older,
worry, actually, because while you were exactly that's why we went to not being concerned to being panicked, and our biggest worry was that we need to do whatever it is that we need to do and do the aggressive therapy and everything in order for none of the bigger thing could develop later on. Everything that we just
Yeah.
have said right now, which it could open the door to many other things, and that was our bigger fear. So even though that they say, okay, this is gonna be aggressive therapy, we were all for it. Yes, it doesn't matter if it's in the school. It doesn't matter. Like we do whatever it is that we can in order to trying to address this as soon as possible, and with the hope and that this is gonna be resolved quick.
And
That's what we thought.
The main reason why she was going to the school, also, side note, is that if not, she would need to be going to this the therapist's office, and I didn't want her missing school. So that would mean that she would probably miss. She would only be going for half a day, and I didn't want her missing any time from school. So
Dang it, bro. Dang it. I could have skipped school.
She's so silly.
So okay, Fabu, I hope that we answered that question. So if you feel okay with that
I think
answer,
we're ready for the next question.
what's the next question?
How do you say 6 in Spanish?
Seis.
Number 6. What concerned you the most during that time?
Well, we just talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we just
Our
talked about
bigger concern overall, it was just that from a speech delay, it could convert to 100 other issues.
Like
That if it's
insecurity.
not, if it's not addressed in a proper manner, and for us that was priority number one and a bigger fear. That's why once again, like we went from not being worried to panic alert type of thing.
Yeah,
and
1 to
our
10.
Biggest, and the thing
Really
is
quick.
that our biggest fear was that you were almost already about to start first grade. So we felt like we wanted you to improve like
social skills.
super fast. We didn't want to.
We wanted that a little bit that impossible, which at that moment we didn't saw that as so much of an impossible. We thought it was just it's just doable. Why not?
Yeah.
Now we understand it was a little bit impossible, but hey,
A little bizarre.
it was
from our
it was
part.
a little bit of impossible there.
Yeah.
As quick that we wanted things to happen, but
It is what it is.
We were hopeful.
We were very, very hopeful.
Um.
So I hope that answered your question, Fabu.
How do I say 7 in Spanish?
Siete.
Siete. Okay.
Okay, so go right ahead with the next question, Fabu.
Número 5.
What?
Wow.
Cinque? No.
Cinque.
It's a combination
Siete.
between cinco and siete. I like that. This is a combination between cinco and siete.
Siete.
Cinque.
Siete.
That's gonna be
Cinque.
a new number right there. Cinque.
Siete.
All right.
What's it again?
Siete.
Number suete.
No,
it's
no
not
sweater.
sweater.
No sweater.
It's not a sweater.
Number
7.
Siete.
Number 7.
Oh my God. Can we
Okay.
just say 7?
Number 7.
No.
Oh,
no.
you did.
Number, not número.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. It's Spanglish. It's Spanglish. Anyway, that's the way you're speaking that.
Numero 7.
Wow, for real.
It's okay.
Why did we start recording on YouTube?
Say it again. Tell me again the question, Fabu. Ask me again the question.
Number 7. Why did we start recording on YouTube?
Well, to better answer that question, I have to
I was
take
gonna
you.
say, that's a big question.
Yeah, I had to take you back a little bit from the moment that I was just telling you before that we had we went to a panic alert. We were very concerned with the therapist and everything. We wanted quick results and all that. And the truth of the fact is, at that moment, after a while, like, how long do you think that it took for the conventional therapist, it did not work?
I'll tell you.
Well, what I was gonna say is that Fabu went through 3 therapists in 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Like, it took a while first, right? That's the part that I wanted to glue there.
We did give it time.
Yeah, we give it time.
I was a challenge to most therapists.
A year? I don't know. That's why I was asking. It was a year? It wasn't it? Or was 2 years?
In 2 years. She
2
went to
years.
Three
So we were
therapists.
patient, hopeful, etc., when those 2 years, and after three therapists, we were not getting
Results.
really good results.
Minimal.
Well,
minimal.
let's not say really good. We were having very, very minimal results. So at that moment, let me make another point. Through those 2 years that she was changing therapists, the first therapist actually make an appointment with us and let us know that she was not engaging, that she was not interested, that, all this feedback we were hearing from the first therapist. And she said, it's better for me to just step out and let's try to get another therapist. Maybe it's,
What, she quit? Wow.
Well,
she quit. Wow.
I think that she was making a good point, So she said, that like maybe it's another therapist, maybe it will be another better chemistry.
I'm just gonna tell you this, Dad. I think she let you down really easy. She's like, you know what? This child is a little too hard for my level, so I'm gonna quit.
It's like, this kid is driving nuts. No, she did not say that.
No, on the contrary, all 3 of them always said that you were lovely, super
Yes,
sweet,
that's true.
lovely,
That's a fact.
much love, and no behavior
I wasn't
problems.
difficult. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah. It was.
tantrums.
The thing is that you wanted to just come back to class. You didn't like the whole therapy moment. Like, you hated it. Like the second therapist. I remember the second therapist feedback. One of the feedback is like, as soon as she sees me get in, she will hide. I'm like, oh my God, this is a new one. And she said that besides for you to be all disconnected, that you didn't want to be part of whatever, you were already in the negative when it comes to the therapist. Actually, the third therapist, it was a young girl. They actually, I believe the therapist, they put like a very young therapist, thinking that maybe she would connect with you.
And even for a point in time, I was actually taking you out of school and taking you to the office to do sessions to see if that switch would actually help, but
I think that made it worse. Actually,
it didn't.
It didn't. None of that worked.
didn't.
So that being said, we were like, okay, this is not working. What are we gonna do? We need to start doing something. And that's when we went from panic to, oh my God, AMG alert. OMG. AMG.
Oh my God,
OMG,
did he
what a
just say
boomer.
OMG?
What a boomer.
He said OMG. Wow.
AMG.
Oh
What a
my
boomer.
God. Oh my God.
What a boomer.
That
Anyway,
is so 2
let me
years
try
ago.
to get this
Wow.
straight. OMG. OMG.
OMG.
OMG. Okay. So we went to OMG alert, and we were like, we need to start doing something. Now, we knew that we needed to do something, but we needed to take the feedback from the therapist, which is the people that were actually investing the longest period of time with Fabu when it comes to therapy. We needed to take their advices, their feedback, what worked and what didn't work. So we knew that she didn't want to be part of any conventional, or let's call it conventional therapy. So we needed to think really outside the box to come up with something that you wanted to be part of, something that you think that it was fun, that you wanted to be, to interact with, or whatever you think that it was great. And we just needed to think outside the box. The only way to do that is we needed to go to the source, which is you, and ask you, okay, Fabu,
You just straight up asked me.
What is that
What do
you
you want?
like? What would you want? And we started looking around and trying to figure it out what it is. What is that you wanted to do? And
she had a lot of interest though at that time. Like
Yes.
she used to love to do a lot of things, but nothing really captured her attention for a long period of time.
Actually, one time, I think, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure, I think one of my interests was like, hey, I want like to make marshmallows and everything. So we actually bought, we were like invested.
Well, at that moment, we were already
let's go.
doing. At that moment, Fabu, what you're trying to.
That was further down the road.
Yeah, that was further down the road, Fabu. That was. I'm trying to concentrate and answer your question that I was, before, and how we come out to do the YouTube channel. But that was after we did the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
actually.
because it wasn't like
No,
something
wasn't
that
it
we had
before?
in our mind. Like it wasn't like
Yeah, that was
something
that was not our idea whatsoever. It was not in our
all.
mind. It was not something that not even crossed my mind, and no point of way in my life at all.
No.
So, like FabuMom was saying, she was very interested in watching YouTube, kid-friendly YouTube videos and things like that. And she would always, anything that is funny and it makes Fabu laugh, she wants to engage. She wants to look at it again. She wants to be part of. She likes that. And then she said that she wanted something with like a YouTube channel, and she was watching a lot of DIYs, right? The gummies,
the
things
gummy
like that.
making ones.
And she wanted a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and the Shopkins, yeah.
I believed that it was a joke. I thought that it was a joke, but at the same time, coming from a kid, I'm like, yeah, that's common in kids, Every kid wants a YouTube
kids.
channel. So it's a joke, but not really, because yeah, I understand. But at the same time, I'm like, I want to see how engaged, how interested she is within this joke.
Yeah, but I was like, let's
of
entertain
YouTube.
this.
So I'm like, let's entertain it for a little bit. At that moment, she had a laptop, a new laptop that she was using to watch the videos and all that, but it had a camera that we know that she was using, and we would teach her how to use the camera. She was taking pictures and things like that. Everywhere she would go, she would like take a picture and video. That was her new gadget.
I was like,
the tablet.
picture.
So I'm like,
Selfie.
get the tablet that you already have and you already know how to use. And, to do a YouTube channel or any of that, you need to know how to do a video. You need to do a YouTube video. So make a YouTube video or what did you want your channel to be and give it back to us.
Hello guys, what's up? Hey, my name is Fabu. Do you want to see my channel? It's so fun. That way, like meditate. Let's see. And you're gonna see a lot of stuff you like. You might make you smarter than others. So we really are Fabu, and that's me. We're making videos we like Batman versus Batman, and then we're gonna say Batman take away Batman equal 0. You're gonna love it, and Please be who you are.
And
then we would do a YouTube channel.
you also I'm pretty sure, I think this is in around that, like in the timeline. But you also, I think, in the tablet, you also told me to actually play Roblox, one of my and play a game.
Fabu, that's down the line.
Oh
Fabu.
my god!
Your memories of all that's way down
It's
the
all
line,
mixed up.
sweetie.
No
Okay.
way.
That's
Wow.
down the line,
Wow,
sweetie.
okay.
No way.
Okay.
That was way down the line. That would be episode, I don't know, 3, 4, or something like that.
I'm already jumping it, bro.
yeah,
There
yeah.
was
Because
no Roblox in that.
no, that was
way.
no Roblox or anything there. So the thing is that happened. You took the tablet. It took you a couple of days. Don't get me wrong. That didn't happen in the same day. It took you a couple of days. But for my surprise, for our surprise, right? Within a couple of days, you were like,
we were stunned.
"Here's that."
We
I'm
were
like,
stunned.
"Here's what?" The video. I did
We
the
were
video.
stunned.
I'm like, at that point, honestly,
I was like,
I
what?
totally forgot. Like, what video you talking about?
It was
The one you
unbelievable.
told me about the YouTube. I'm like, of course, yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
video of course, I
'Cause
remember.
At this point, it was like, you promised that you're gonna open
Yeah,
a
you
YouTube
promised.
channel
Yes.
for me, and we were like,
And she killed me because she not only said you promised, but she did her trick. She did her trick. She
I
looked
gave
at
her
me,
a look.
she smiled, and hugged me. I'm like, oh my god, she killed me. She killed me. And I'm like, okay, give
Oh,
me.
it's so adorable, bro.
I'm
I
gotta use the cuteness, bro.
She used her ways.
I used
So
it.
I took a look the tablet and she didn't have one video. This is the thing.
I had like 10.
She had like 100 videos
And
because she
every
would
video,
just take and then say one thing and then take another one. Well, she did like 100 times, and then that for me, it was like, oh, she really won this because she did it again and again and again and again and again. I don't know if it was for her to make it better or just to, okay, I think this is good or this is an
I
extra
just
video.
loved it. I really loved
She just kept
talking.
doing it. So I knew that something was there that she wanted to be part of, that she didn't forget, even though that it was 2 days later, because normally Fabu would,
No,
She would
was
say one
engaged.
thing today.
She was engaged.
and the next day she just totally forgot.
Yeah.
And it would
But
not
only
happen.
that, like she was able to express herself and say things in a
Yes.
way that we had not heard or seen before. So that I think was the big shocker for us when we were like, "What? How did she do all of this?"
She said a bunch of stuff in that video. One of the thing that I loved it. She said it like very clear. I got a channel. I don't know how she was singing, but it was something about I got a channel. I got a YouTube channel. And then she was doing noises with the mouse like I don't know if she was like beatboxing or I don't know something, and she was like I got a channel. I got a channel.
I made the channel. I made the channel. I made the channel. I made the channel.
I'm
I
like,
remember she was gonna do tricks.
oh my
and tell her
god.
friends that she was gonna do tricks.
Oh my god. No, that was not in the tablet. That
You
was the intro video that she did. Because okay, overall, when I saw that and I spoke to FabuMom, I'm like, there's something here. I don't know what it is,
But
but there's something here.
I think what really convinced Fadad was a hug and the kiss. I
Yes.
guess
No,
it
overall.
was a hug and a
Overall.
kiss.
That's the main thing that it did. That's the main thing that it did.
Always.
But overall,
I was
I
like,
told FabuMom, I don't know what is here, but I think that we don't have nothing to lose at this point. And
It's only our option. Yeah.
It's the only one option, as Fabu said, that we have right now, and she's committed, and she loves it, and I think there is something here. So let's go. Let we don't got nothing to lose. Let's do it. So I tell Fabu, okay, Fabu, we're going to do the YouTube channel, and let's say, let's see where that take us. Thinking that it was not a big deal whatsoever, it's just like, okay, I just gotta, open the YouTube channel and that's
Here
it.
we
I
are,
was like,
5 years later.
no big deal, obviously 5 years later, and that's how we did. That's how we opened the YouTube channel. Actually, March 22nd.
Are you
That's-
sure? Are you
sure?
sure? Are you
Yes.
sure? Are you sure?
Confirm.
26.
Confirm. March 22nd, 2016. We opened that account on YouTube, the YouTube
Wow.
channel.
And then history is made.
5 years later.
Here we are.
Crazy. So I hope
Start
that
from the
I
do-
answer. What?
Start from the bottom. Now we're here. Woo woo.
Let's go.
Woo woo.
So I hope that answered your question, Fabu. So you have more question. Let's go.
This is the last one. How do I say 8 in Spanish?
Ocho.
Número 8.
That was really good. You
really
just said
good,
it clear.
I know. I'm
GG,
fluent.
let's go.
I'm fluent, baby.
Wow.
Wha- How did you guys come up with the name FabuRocks for the YouTube name?
Oh, that's an easy question.
Oh, that's simple. That's very
an
simple.
easy question. So FabuRocks, Fabu because Fabu has always been your nickname since you were born. Because it's short for fabulous, fabulosa,
And I was an angel.
Fabulosa, fabulous.
fabulosa,
So
fabulous, and rocks because tell him FabuDad, tell her FabuDad.
I don't know if I will remember this or not.
I remember this.
You
I
remember?
actually have my rock collection upstairs. I'm
Yes.
pretty
She
sure.
still has her
Fabu,
rock jar.
Fabu was, since always, every time that we travel, we like to travel. Especially we take cruises to different places in the Caribbean, so on, so on. You know, living in Miami.
Yeah.
So,
woo woo.
so every time that we go
Not
anywhere,
anymore, though.
she would actually, yeah, not anymore. Let's cry about it.
Doo
Anyway,
doo
we
doo.
hopefully one
And we
day.
haven't even gone to Hawaii, which I'm pretty sad
Yeah,
about.
we
Like, you
we
know.
still have Hawaii in the back burner. You know, maybe one of these days. So she would go to any place, and she would always get a rock out of that place. Now I don't know how, and that's what it like to me was incredible. She would knew that specific rock, where it came from, and what we were doing at the moment. And I would say, like, I don't know how, because she would put that rock inside a jar with a bunch of other rocks that to me, all of them somehow it looked the same. But
But they weren't,
somehow
yeah,
it
they
were
were
not
not the same,
never the
but,
same for her.
He just didn't get
And
it.
it didn't matter which rock I would put out of that jar. She was able to identify where the rock came from, where she took it from, and what we were doing at the moment. To me, that was like mind blowing.
You're like, huh?
Obviously, she was using her own language, and you know,
I was like,
because at that moment she was, you know, still with the
Which
speech
I
today and
understood.
everything. But if Oma understood everything, she was translating. But yeah, to me that was incredible, and not only to us but to our family. That was one of the things. You know, when you have, you know, your kid that doing special things, and when you go to the family meetings or family parties, like,
show off.
look at my kid, what my kid do, you know?
yeah.
Mine
Does your
collects
kid do
rocks.
that?
Like our thing with Fabu is like,
He's a rock collector.
my kid is a rock collector.
Let's
and
go.
you know what? She's super awesome, because you know what she does? I bet you whatever rock you take out of the jar, she would tell you where the rock is from and why we were doing. And she did. She always did. Her own language and her own way, but she always did. And that was awesome. And
Were they
Thanksgiving
impressed?
and Christmas and New Year, it's like, out here, Fabu with her jar. She was like, yeah,
That was
yeah,
your
yeah.
circus trick.
Yeah, that was the trick. She would just put, you know, whatever rock out of the jar. She would say whatever. And hey, most of the time she would get money out of the family from that.
Really?
Oh my God. Yeah, you know, like, oh, here's that.
And see, that's how
She's
cute I
like, now
was.
she's like, really? I should get the jar again.
I think I should start doing that.
She's like, hey,
Mwah.
I remember, still remember. Oh well, and
You did
that.
better than when you were a magician. Remember when she was a magician?
Oh
No.
my God, she wanted at that same time she wanted to do she wanted to be a magician too. She actually made us to buy a magic
A
Okay.
magic set.
a magic
yeah.
kit, a magic
I
set.
think I still have the like wand.
And it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So to coming back to make a U-turn, okay, because we went off the track like always. To make a little bit of U-turn, we wanted to name the channel something that
It's iconic.
that it means something. It describes Fabu the best. Not knowing what we were gonna do with the channel or whatever, but to me, I don't know. Maybe it was me, trying to be a little bit OCD about everything. It needed to have a meeting.
And it
And-
also had the double play of rocks because at that time, Fabu also liked to dress up like real punk style.
Yes, and that was the other reason.
And
That's
so
right.
That was like,
I
and she
was-
had a guitar. She liked
Yeah.
to rock.
We
and
were
so-
yes, she was into all that, so we were like, yeah, FabuRocks, like, yeah,
Like, have two
rock, and FabuRocks because of the rocks. So for us, it was no
with
brainer.
rock band, remember?
Yes, and we were like, okay, so FabuRocks, and that's it. That's how FabuRocks it was created. That's how we did it. That's not knowing what was gonna happen.
Yeah. 5 years later, look where we are.
Look, I always tell through our journey. I always tell people, and we're gonna be talking about this throughout every through the episodes of this podcast. And that's one of the main reasons too about this podcast. If I would get a time machine right now, if I go 5 years back to my life, to our lives, and I would tell myself, hey, dude, you know what? 5 years from now, you're going to be just, working. Well, a lot of people would do that because now of the COVID, but you're going to be working from home. You're going to be doing videos with your daughter, and you're going to be doing, YouTube videos and live streaming and social media and all this into gaming.
He'd be like, you crazy.
Yeah. I would have just laughed. I would have died.
That's insane.
Laughing. I'm sorry, like, you're crazy. You are insane.
Yeah, you need to go get some therapy.
I'm like, just.
That's not gonna happen.
That's it's
not in a
nothing.
million years.
It just not even in my wildest dream. Ever thought that I would, go there. Neither FabuMom.
No.
At all.
And then Fada would also tell like his past stuff, hey, you're gonna live stream, and Fada would be like, what is live stream?
Yeah, like I didn't even.
What is live stream?
I only knew that YouTube existed because yes, it's like not knowing that Google didn't exist. Actually, through the company that I had and everything, we used for marketing and social media and all that. YouTube, Twitter, things like that. Besides, I have a background in e-commerce, so I'm savvy to that extent, but never to, hey, let's make a YouTube video for our lives or anything like that. Like, no, not at all.
Did you even make a blog or something?
No.
No experience in the tech.
No, that I made a blog. No, I have websites through the companies that I had and all those things, but
no,
never anything that I had to do with FabuRocks.
But even live streaming, how wild of a concept was that for us?
Crazy.
Extremely wild.
It's like right now, I know this is gonna sound a little bit crazy, but it was this crazy. It's like right now, I let's say that 5 years from now, right? I'm visiting myself, mind-blowing type of thing there, right? It's like, hey man, you better go shopping for that super awesome helmet you're gonna have because you're gonna be traveling to Mars with your daughter. She's gonna be an astronaut to Mars, and I'm like, get out of here, bro. Oh, with her? Like, yeah, man, yeah, you're gonna be doing like, and I'm gonna need like, I'm scared of the heights, man. Like, what am I going? Yeah, dude, you're gonna be doing that. I'm like, yeah, you're crazy. Well, it was that crazy to give you. I know it sounds ridiculous, but is that crazy? That was that crazy because we had our plans.
Yeah, go to cruises all day long.
Well, we were
every 3
a
months.
regular. Yeah, we took vacation like 3 or 4 times a year. Vacation, we were
amazing.
Great.
It was amazing.
But anyway, all this is gonna be things that we're gonna be talking in the next episode.
Yeah, we're going too off track.
Yeah, we're going too off track.
That's coming soon.
That's coming
This
soon.
is to be continued.
To be continued for sure. So, Fabu, thank you for all those questions.
Oh, you're welcome.
I had a great time.
You did really
and
good,
you did awesome like always.
I know. I'm an angel. You want a hug, Farad?
An angel? What does that have to do with that?
Hey, Farad, you want a hug? Wait, let's give.
Okay, if I was give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Hey, Farad, can I have some ice cream?
No, that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore, Fabu.
I just had to try, This is me.
It does.
It does. It still does. Actually, it actually worked today. It actually worked today. FabuMom, we went to CVS and I was like, "Hey, FabuMom, can I have candy?" And she's like, "No." And then I in the car, and then I was like, "FabuMom," and she's like, "Yes." And I gave her a hug. And I'm like, "Can I have candy in the dollar store?" Anyway, we're gonna go get some hand sanitizer and a bottle for my a spray for something that we needed. And she's like, "You know what? Sure." It worked today, actually.
It's
I was
still
like,
working. Go figure it out.
It's still working.
Okay, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed episode 1, how we started. We had a lot of fun. I hope that you enjoy it. And once again, we want to say thank you to our sponsor, Turtle Beach, Rockcat, and G Fuel for the support.
Yes, let's
They're
go.
awesome. Woo!
That's right. We invite you.
By the way, use code FabuRocks.
There you go. We invite you to our next episode 2, first therapy section. There, we're going to be talking about how actually we did our first therapy without somehow not knowing how it happened, but it did happen for our surprising everything has happened through all this journey. So that's what we're going to be talking a little more in depth into that subject. So once again, we invite you to our next episode. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time.
And like always, just be yourself because that is Fabulicious. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. The way that we created this podcast
I'm sorry.
in order to take you to a little bit of road trip on each episode about how everything went down with what did not went down.
It's
Went
how it
down.
Everything went down.
Boys.
Let's go.
Let's go represent. No,
Wow.
never
Came
mind.
from the bottom, now we're here. Woo,
Okay,
woo.
Just because I told you Biggie died today, 24 years ago.
I know. I don't know. They tell me Biggie died. I'm like, hey, I like it when you come now. The way that we created this podcast is much thanks to our community for the way that we.
You good? 10 hours in the intro, bro. I was destined to be the Flash. It's just who I was.
That's such a little flash. Okay. So,
Dude, this mosquito is giving me so much anxiety, bro. He's just standing in one place. I want to hit him so bad, but if I hit him, I know he's going to freaking sting me.
All right, so let's go.